Mm, yeah, fine. So let us begin with diffusion flames. Okay. So basically, we'll try to understand what is a diffusion flame, how it is different. Okay, premixed, I hope or I believe that you are very clear with. So we'll try to probe that why they are diffusion flames and why they are different from premix. What are the major differences? And what is the flame structure? So as we have already mentioned that this is a different type of flame, so flame structure should also be different. So what is that? We'll try to look into, and we'll also look into some relations. So today class I'm putting like mostly like introductory class. So we'll not do any derivation today. Maybe from tomorrow or next week we have a few derivations for this. I did not want it to scare you people. So today we'll just mostly look into pictures and videos. Okay, and what are the applications for diffusion flames? So to begin with, this we have already discussed that the major difference is lies in the input. So for premixed flame, we have fuel and oxidizer which are already mixed, which are pre-mixed. Okay, while diffusion flame, we supply only fuel. Okay, oxidizer can be coming from the atmospheric air, or we can have a co-flow. Let me just draw. Okay, so one is that you just inject fuel and let air come from ambient. Okay, everywhere surrounding this fuel is atmospheric air, so that will supply oxygen or oxidizer. Another way is that you have a concentric tube. Okay, so one tube is carrying fuel, let there be another tube surrounding it, so this tube is carrying fuel, one more tube is that is being given oxidizer. So if you look at the top view, what you will see is one sorry, you can see is that there is an inner circle which has fuel, which is this, and surrounding circle will have oxidizer. Okay, or otherwise you can have diffusion from air if you don't provide this. Is this okay? Or any doubt, any question?
Yes, sir.
Fine. Simply I'm talking about co-flow. Either you can have a jet flame or you can also provide co-flow. That's all. So that is the major difference between premix and diffusion flame. Now this is what we input. Now we'll see what changes it makes. What are the changes in flame structure because of this different way of supplying fuel. Okay, and examples we have already discussed. Bunsen burner generally gives you premixed flames depending on the way you operate, that we have already discussed. You have to open the air ports and let the air mix. So we have air and fuel mixture, then it is a premixed flame. And candle is a very typical example for diffusion flame. Okay, so there are some general differences. Can anyone point out what is the major difference what you see in these two? You have two images.
The
From that,
flame is distributed, sir. Like the illuminated
uh,
region is
Sir, color.
high.
okay, let me take one by one. So distributed is the flame zone is little bit larger, but it is again the outer region what you see, that is what is generating light. Don't think that everything inside is brightened up. See, there is some dark. We'll come to that. But color is, yes, that is a good reply I was looking for. Color is a major difference. Okay, so in general, diffusion flame generally, not always, generally look yellowish. So can anyone guess or try why? Why is that so? And premix flames generally look blue. So why is that difference? Blue and yellow, what it signifies?
So maybe the chemical reaction that is taking place might differ. Like in diffusion flame, oxygen is not spread throughout. So first it might form CO and then it might form CO2, and that electron jump might produce different light color.
So you started correctly. but the reactions are not different. The same reaction will take place here only also. Okay, for premix film also we have seen. Remember the I think yesterday or day before last class, we have shown that CO is there, CO2 is there, everything is there for premix flame. It is not that.
I mean, so I mean, like the CO here is just concentrated in one region, and here it might be all over the place.
We'll come to that. I have yes, I have a mass fraction of CO in a few slides, but that is not the case. This yellow region is particularly coming because of soot particles. Okay, so because oxygen, we will anyway discuss in more detail what is soot, how it is formed, but the general idea is that because the fuel and air are not very well mixed like here. Okay, so this is diffusion controlled. So because of that, I don't want to talk many keywords now because we'll study that in detail. But the main idea is that soot is formed generally in this region, and that is what is giving yellow color. Okay, and generally because in premixed we have very thoroughly mixed. We have oxygen everywhere mixed with fuel. So soot is generally avoided. But if you have a very rich premixed flame, then soot will be formed. Okay, so that is one like general difference, which may not be always true. Okay, we'll look at cases where there is no soot formation in diffusion flame, but in general you can say for normal conditions this will look blue because this is, we can say this is burning well, this is burning more efficiently, and this will look yellow because it has soot. So soot has some unburnt particles that we'll talk about. So that will bring down your efficiency. You're not using all of your fuel. Some part is remaining unburnt, and that we will talk more about soot in maybe next class. Okay, moving on. So let us look closely into candle flame, which is a very typical example for Bunsen burner, diffusion flame. So what happens basically is you have a wick, okay, because of heat, this wax is melting, wax is getting evaporated, and that is getting burned here. So if you look at various regions here, you can see that wax is coming along this wick and air is getting diffused from the sides, right? Now you see a thin blue layer. Can you see here in your screens? Thin blue layer.
Yes, sir.
Okay.
Yes, sir.
So this thin blue layer is because of chemiluminescence. Mostly, I think because of CH. I need to check. I don't remember, but mostly it is because of CH, and that is what you see in premixed flames. Okay. So this region has enough or good quantity of oxygen because it is coming like this, and it burns better. No less soot formation. Then we have this dark region. If you see near this wick. Okay, so that is filled with vapor. This is fuel vapor which is filled here. So this is completely dark, but you have to like cut section. You are looking at a 3D flame and a bright region is surrounding that dark region. Okay, so that is why it is not very clear, but you still can look at this region, which is a dark region containing fuel. Okay, so surrounding the wick we have some fuel. Now outside we have air. So once they meet, so this is the line where they meet at stoichiometric proportions. That will again discuss in more detail. Or let us say where we have the right proportion, where fuel and air mix properly, there we will have the flame front. There, that is this flame front what we are talking about. And this yellow region what you see, this yellow color particularly is given by the soot particles. So whenever you see yellowish color, in general you can attribute it to soot. Soot is being produced in that region. Is this okay? Any questions on this slide? You people are here, or am I connected or not?
Yes, sir.
Sir.
Yes, sir.
Just every slide I want you to say something, yes, no, whatever. Okay, fine. So this looks okay. So let us move at another aspect. So, okay, we talked about candle, but candle is not the only form of diffusion flame. We can also have a Bunsen burner, where if I don't have premixed air, I close the air port, you will get diffusion flame. Okay, so similar burner, here I am mixing fuel and air before coming here, that is giving you premixed flame, while if I did not add air, only pure fuel is injected, then it forms diffusion flame. That is the basic difference. Right? Let us move on. So let us look at one video. So okay. So this is a flame. Okay, it is obviously it is a little bit turbulent, but it is a nice premixed flame or a diffusion flame. You can guess. If you don't know, you can at least try what it looks like. Premixed flame or diffusion flame.
Premix, sir.
Sir, premix, sir.
Anyone for diffusion flame? Okay, so then I will come to the heading of this slide is, do all diffusion flame produce soot? That is the question. And let me tell you, this is a diffusion flame. Okay, so what is happening here is, you see it is a very turbulent flame. It has a very strong co-flow and there are a lot of oscillations. You can see here. Because of that, the fuel and air are mixing very thoroughly. So diffusion flame may also not produce soot if you have proper mixing. See, in candle, there is no mixing. Okay, so this is just diffusion control. There is no turbulent mixing. So this is soot. So just to repeat what I said, most of the diffusion flame will appear yellow, but you cannot say if some flame is blue, it is premixed only. It could be diffusion flame also. What I am trying to convey. So diffusion flame can also be blue. Most likely 90% cases it is yellow, but you can also make it blue. You can also remove soot or you can burn soot. That is the idea. Is this clear or you have got confused?
Yes, sir.
Clear,
Yes,
sir.
sir.
Clear? Okay, very good. So this is actually a misconception. Many people think that only yellow is diffusion, but sometimes you can also get blue. So now let us look at premixed flame, what we have discussed in the last chapter. Okay, so what are the various configurations we saw for premixed flames? Then we'll compare that to diffusion. So this is a flame jet. Okay, Bunsen burner. This gives a gas jet which burns. So we can call flame jet. Then we talked about flat flame. This is one type of premixed flame. We also talked about spherically expanding flame. Okay. Again, we have a premixed mixture we burn and we get spherical flame. We also talked about planar flame. Okay, it may not be perfectly flat, it will bend, but this is the general configuration. And again, one important point I want to highlight, that these are not the only configurations. These are the most general configurations used for premixed flames, but there are more devices which have different designs. Okay, but these are the general forms we study. So let us now look at diffusion flames. Who is Sunil Sharma? Why do you want control? Okay. You all can see? Okay, fine, no problem. Any disturbance from this side, or you are able to hear me and look at the slides?
We can hear you, sir. Perfectly.
Okay, fine. So this is what we talked about premix. Now let us go to diffusion flames. So diffusion flames, we have discussed, we have a candle flame. This is basically a solid fuel. We are burning a solid fuel, evaporating it. Then we have a flame jet. This is a methane flame jet. So just take a nozzle, inject methane and burn it. Now the question is whether I can have a spherical flame or diffusion flame. Is it possible? Anyone want to guess? So for example, in premix flames, what we had was, we had a chamber. Okay, we filled that chamber with premixed. So we have both air and fuel. Both are present. Then we ignite. So there is no problem in burning. But if suppose I fill this completely with methane, no air is there, no oxygen is there, will it burn?
It
Sir.
won't burn until we inject some oxygen from somewhere. So.
Yes. So if I have a closed vessel, I fill it with completely with fuel, it will not burn. But that is how we form diffusion flame. Okay. So how is it possible to get a spherical flame in diffusion? Anyone, any configuration you want to guess? Looking at the previous, yes.
Filling the spherical bomb with fuel and having oxidizing injector at the center might probably work.
That
Or
I don't
the
know.
reverse. Or the reverse,
Okay.
filling it by oxidizer and inputting just fuel at the center.
How can you maintain a perfectly sphere something at the center? It will anyway mix, right? So I'll tell you
Yes, sir.
one. I'll tell you a simpler configuration. Have you heard of droplet evaporation? Fuel droplet. So for example, diesel. Okay. So we can have droplet evaporation. So when we have basically we burn droplet in form of sprays. Okay. So what happens is that this is in a hot ambient. It is this droplet will evaporate. Okay, and let me. Okay, droplet will evaporate. Vapor will go out. Okay, now this vapor will burn and that will form this flame. This is a spherical flame, and the difference is that it will go inwards. It will not go out. As the droplet will start to decrease in diameter, this will go inside. The flame radius will decrease. Okay, so that is called droplet combustion. Is this okay?
We'll provide some kind of, force to keep the
Oxide.
droplet stable, or we will, to checking that flame, we will move the camera to check that flame.
So basically, you can have suspended droplets. You can have something that's called something called levitator, or you can have like freely falling droplets, or if you have a spray. Okay, so these are very small droplets because of buoyancy. Also, that will be. See, these are basically this will be moving. Okay, it will not be suspending it in air in normal applications. Okay, so for example, you have jet engine. So fuel will be sprayed, droplet will be moving, but it will have a flame surrounding to it. So droplet will have some motion. Okay, let us say like this, but it will be surrounded by a flame. That is the idea. Droplet, anywhere it is going, it has flame around it. That's all. Whether it stays, it moves,
Yes, sir.
it goes up and down, it has a flame surrounding it. Maybe next class I will also show you some images, then it might be more clear. Fine. So we can have jet flame, we can have spherical expanded flame. Now what about flat flame? Okay, can we have a planar flame like this for diffusion flame? So what we can do is we can have like only fuel coming from one side, only air coming from one side. So that can form a flat flame, right? Any problem in that sort of configuration? That fuel is coming from one side and air is coming from one side. Whether I can burn a stable flame like this?
Where will the burnt gas go? If that is
Yeah,
the configuration.
that is the problem. So you cannot have a tube configuration for a diffusion flame. Okay, so what we can do is that if you remove the tube, what will happen? let us say we have two jets. Two jets are coming like this. So you have oxidizer. This is a nozzle only, like this. You have a nozzle like this. So you have fuel coming from the bottom. You have oxidizer coming from the top, and these two jets hit, and they form a stagnation plane where we can also see a flame. This is called opposed jet flame. Okay. So you understand what I am saying? We have two jets. So for example, this is also a jet which is burning. Suppose I don't burn. I have a jet from the bottom. I have a gas jet coming from the top, oxidizer or air. So these two jets will hit and they'll form a stagnation plane. Have you studied this in fluid mechanics? Flow hitting a wall or something like that?
Yes, sir.
Okay,
Jet
so you
hitting a
can,
wall and all.
yeah, so you can imagine something similar to jet hitting a wall. So this, let us say this stagnation plane is a wall. So this jet is hitting that wall. It will get distributed. Okay, let me draw. So this is, let us say this dotted line is a wall. This is actually a stagnation plane, but let us assume that this is a wall. So whatever flow is coming, it will go like this. It will hit and it will go like this. It will go in that direction. Similarly, from the bottom we have fuel, but that will again hit the wall. So this will also go like this. This will also go like this, right? Is this okay?
Yes, sir.
So this will form a opposed jet and we'll get a very nice flat flame. You want to see how it is formed? I have some videos. Let us, can you see this?
Yes, sir.
So this is a opposed jet flame. Okay, let me play this for you. So this is actually a video, it is not a photo. As you see how stable this flame is. So this is like one of the most ideal or standard flames which are used for different fundamental studies. Okay, so this what you see is, this is the burner. Jet, opposed jet, two jet are coming. So this is one side of burner, and there is one more which is not seen because of darkness. Let us look at another video. So this is flat. You all agree to that? This is a flat stationary flame. You all
Yes,
agree,
sir.
or okay? Let us look at from some other angle. Then it will be more clear whether it is flat or not. So can you see this? Now, now see, it is in dark. So there are two jets. This is a flame. Okay, we are taking image from different angles. See how flat it is. If you, I will just pause here. So can you see the burner here? Everyone, can you
Yes,
see
sir.
this? So there are two burners because of this dark. It is not visible, but there are two burners which are forming this flat flame. Now you can see. In fact, other burner is looking like a shadow. Let me, yeah. So this shadow is one burner, and this is another burner, and then we have a flat flame. See, it is also very bluish. So understand what is happening. One side air is coming, one side fuel is coming. They are hitting and forming a flat flame. Let us. So this is a very stable structure. Let us look at one flame where you are trying to get it stabilized. It is actually very noisy. So suppose if your both the flows are not balanced, okay, so there is some issue. So we'll get something like this. And if you increase the bottom flow, then you see how the flame structure is changing. So now top is increased, so it is going down. If bottom one is increased, so it will go up. If the both are balanced, you will get a perfectly nice flat flame. This is not a very good movie, but just I wanted to give you some idea. So are you clear what we are trying to? Let me delete it. So this is what we discussed. This is the flat flame, okay? So we have oxidizer coming from the top, fuel coming from the bottom, and when they hit, they form a flame between them. So this is a pure diffusion flame, and it can be used for many fundamental kinetic studies actually. So this is can be considered as a very clean or very 1D sort of flame. Okay, very ideal flow is there. Is it all right? Everyone is okay with that? Or any question is there?
Yes, sir.
Fine. So let us move. This is just, I had some videos I wanted to share with you. Now let us again come to the flame structure. Okay, so this is for premixed flames. Okay, if I take one small section at the flame surface, flame front, then I can say how my species and temperature are changing. So temperature will, if I go from left to right, temperature will increase, right? Fuel is decreasing, oxidizer also decreasing, while reaction rate is peaking at the flame front. This is what we studied for premixed flame. Okay, no one should be confused about this, right? So let us see how a diffusion flame looks like. So let us see if I take a similar type of section here, what we see is, see, inside fuel is there. Outside oxidizer is there, oxygen is there. So we'll see inside left side of this section, fuel is maximum and then it goes down. Okay, this is similar to premixed flame, but the difference is, what is the difference? Now we have oxidizer which is increasing here. Here what we see, oxidizer is inside the flame, outside the reaction zone it is 0. While in diffusion flame, oxidizer is 0 inside because this is a flame fuel jet, and oxidizer is coming from outside, and at the flame surface it becomes 0. Okay, so fuel is coming from inside, oxidizer is coming from outside, and at the flame surface they become 0, right? And there you see the rise in temperature as well as reaction rate. So temperature is highest at this only. So that is one major difference. So if you look at this flame, temperatures goes on because these are all hot burnt gases. While for this case, we have diffusion of all the species are diffusing. The burnt products are moving out. So temperature is highest here and it gradually goes down around the flame. Okay. Is this fine? How temperature and species profile look for premixed and diffusion flame?
Yes, sir.
Fine. Okay, let us move ahead. So let us talk a bit about non-reacting jet. Okay, so before I burn fuel, what I'll do is I'll just put some gas, let us say methane. So once you release methane, it is a methane jet. So what will happen is it will spread out. Okay. So up to here, up to this region, which is called potential core, let us say up to this region you have pure methane. Okay. There is no mixing. Right? What will happen after that is air will start to diffuse from both the sides. So what will happen to the concentration of methane? If you go along this line, yes.
Hello, sir.
Yes.
Sir, in the previous slide,
Yes.
Where the graph is in the second diffused flame, the temperature will decrease gradually or in a like a slower motion, because we use the heat and for cooking also. Then the temperature does not fall directly to the initial temperature.
Okay. So this is like, so first when you use cooking. So for example, LPG. Okay. LPG is
Yes, sir.
mostly premixed flames. Okay, it is actually partially premixed, but it is more close to premixed flame. Okay. Second, this is also high, but this temperature is high near this region, near the surface of this. So when you do cooking, you have this flame hit. Okay, you have something which is heating the flame. You don't keep it very far, right? Flame is
Yes, sir.
flame is hitting your vessel, whatever pan you have. The flame will be hitting that. So the temperature, high temperature is hitting your cooking pot. So that should not have a problem. Anyway, we will talk more detail once we go to this structure of diffusion flame. That then we'll actually have some derivation also, and this will discuss in more detail. But this is the basic difference that I wanted to highlight at the outset. Initially, you should know what is the difference. Then we'll derive how temperature is varying like that. That will look at various relations. Okay, so this is just for you to know why it happens, how it happens, that we'll discuss. Fine.
Okay, sir.
Okay, let us move ahead. So that's what actually what I am trying to do. So let us first talk about non-reacting jet. So what I said was that once you inject a jet, once you put a jet in ambient atmosphere, so air from outside also starts to mix. Okay, it cannot be pure jet that is going around. Initially, for some length, we can say that it is a pure jet that is called potential core. Okay, now let us look at the axial variation of fuel mass fraction. Okay, velocity will also vary like this. Let us talk about fuel fraction. So what will happen is, up to some distance, let us say up to potential core. Okay, fuel mass fraction is 1. What it means? Mass fraction of 1 means what?
Only fuel, sir.
Any fuel, only fuel. Okay, mass fraction 1 means that no other component is there. This jet only contains fuel. So this I am talking about the center line. If I take measurement along the center line up to here, I will measure fuel mass fraction of 1. Only fuel is there up to this point. Now after that what will happen? This mass fraction will slowly decrease as we go higher and higher. Why? Because more and more air is coming. Right? More air is mixing with that jet. That's why this fuel concentration is decreasing. Is this clear to everyone?
Yes, sir.
And the same trend will be followed for velocity. So initially we have higher velocity, but what will happen is, as more mass is coming, more air diffusion, this is called entrainment. Air entrainment is happening, so the velocity will also go down. Okay, after some time it will be like diffused, it will be stopped. So this is generally happen for any non-reacting, any jet you have. This is the general behavior. Okay, now let us look at these planes. So let me delete. Okay, so air entrainment, I believe you have all understood. So let us talk about these three planes. Okay, so let us say that I cut 3 planes and I want to see how my mass fraction or how parameters vary at these planes. Okay, x0, x1 and x2. So let us talk about fuel mass fraction. So if I cut a section here, what I will get? I'll get y is equal to 1 for 0 to R. So this was about axial variation. These plots show radial variation, how it is varying as you go out from here. Okay, so let me just draw again. So axial variation means what happens when you go axially, when you travel from here to here on the center line. Radial variation means that I start from the center and then I move out. What happens? Right? This is clear to everyone? Axial and radial variations.
Yes, sir.
Fine. So we talked about axial. Let us look at radial. So what happens is initially when you cut just at the jet exit, so we'll have fuel till here, till radius r. So that's what we see, that fuel mass fraction is 1 till r. Okay. Now if you go up, if I cut it here, what will happen? Central region, some fuel will be there, but it will be diffusing. Okay, the concentration will go down and will be mixing with air. That is what we see here. At the center we have more concentration, but it is not 1. It is not pure fuel. Some oxygen or some air has also mixed here. That is why it is less than 1. And then it is decreasing. So at the center is the least mixing, at the edge it is the most mixing, and here it vanishes. After that there is no fuel, only air. And similar thing as you go up, if you cut here, then again you have a flatter profile. So the fuel is basically spreading out. Right? Everyone is clear with this plot?
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
If fine. Now this is about non-reacting jet. Okay, now this is basically what we are seeing here is that fuel is getting diffused. This is to explain you what is diffusion means. So if assuming turbulence or any other factor is not there, fuel will still diffuse out. It will mix with the surrounding air. It will get entrained. Okay, this happens for non-reacting. Now let us go to reacting. Let us say I have a diffusion flame. So I again injected fuel here. So this inner boundary, you can say, let us say inside some potential core there is only fuel, and then it starts to mix. What we see earlier, last slide. So after inside some region, if you talk about stoichiometry, so P will be more than 1, which means that this inside region, it will be fuel rich. We have more fuel and less air. Okay, but if I go out, we'll have more air and less fuel. Right? Here air is coming and here fuel is coming. So fuel is coming from this inside, air is coming from surrounding. So if you go outside, outer regions, we have more air or lean mixture. If we go inside, we have rich mixture, we have more of fuel. Right? In between, you see this dotted line. So in between we'll have a area, we have a zone where we have P is equal to 1. We have stoichiometric ratio. Okay, there only the flame will stabilize. For diffusion flame, it generally stabilizes at P is equal to 1. This dotted line is your flame, diffusion flame. Flame front is stabilized where fuel and oxygen are mixed in stoichiometric ratio. Okay, it will not go either to fuel lean or fuel rich region, but it will stabilize at stoichiometric ratio. Is this fine? Where we have right proportion, that's what I am saying. Where you have fuel and oxygen in right proportion, there flame will be formed. Is this clear to everyone?
Sir, so the flame front will be existing near the phi equal to 1.
No, I am saying
Only-
it will be existing exactly at phi is equal to 1.
Okay, sir.
Okay, there only you have fuel and air at the correct proportion. If you go out, you have more air. If you go in, you have more fuel. So where do we have correct proportion? Along this line. So this is where my flame will stabilize. It will sit here. Fine. Now let us look at these cut sections where what is the how the properties vary. Similar
Sir,
to what we have. Yes.
if the flame stabilizes at the phi equal to 1 line, sir,
Yes.
outside we should have phi equal to 0, not phi less than 1, right, sir? Because flame should burn everything. Otherwise, phi should be very much less than 1 or really close to 0. It should be like that, right, sir? Because
Okay.
the fuel is passing through the flame front and then it gets burned up mostly, at least.
So basically, fuel mostly gets burned out, but there will be some. See, strictly speaking, it is not correct to define phi for a diffusion flame. Okay, phi generally is defined when you have a mixed mixture, like we have in premixed flame. But for like rough understanding, we can say that phi is equal to 1. But in general, diffusion flame also there will be some. Okay, so this figure basically we are trying to understand how flame will form. So here fuel, as you correctly say, fuel will not go out. Okay, if this is what I am showing is that if suppose fuel goes out, this is how it will look. But will not allow that. We'll burn it here, right? Just at the correct proportion.
Yes, sir.
So what this plot says is that if the flame is formed here, it will be at the rich region, lean region. If the flame is formed here, it will be at the rich region. So these both are not good locations. What is the best is for the flame to burn here. That's what. Fine.
Yes, sir.
Now I hope you are clear.
Yes, sir.
Okay. So let us look at various species. So let us talk about temperature. So temperature initially will be flat. Okay, this is the initial temperature. If you take a cut section here. Okay, let us take a cut section here. Don't look at that. Let us take a cut section at x equal to 0. This is at x equal to 1 and this is x equal to LF. LF is basically the flame length. So you have flame till here. So this is from here to here is the flame length. Okay. So if you look at the temperature, temperature will be T infinity or unbound temperature at this location, at the exit. If you go a little up, see here I am cutting. So what will happen is inside of this, let me just draw that here. Okay, so where, so suppose I am taking a cut section here, where should be the flame temperature maximum? Anyone?
Phi equals to
At the phi
1
equal to
surface.
1.
1. Phi is equal to 1 is where the flame is. So this is the flame maximum temperature. Then it will start falling towards the fuel. It also fall towards the oxidizer. This is what we are seeing here. Okay. So flame temperature, I'm not making a very good drawing, but this is how it should look. Okay. So at the center it will reach some temperature. At the near the air, it will reach to T infinity. Okay, room temperature, whatever is your T infinity. Similarly, if you go up here, what you will see that this is the maximum. As you go outside, the flame temperature will keep on dropping. That is what we see here. Right? Everyone is okay with this plot. This is a little complicated, but if you pay attention, you will understand this. So is everyone okay with these plots, or should I explain again?
Yes, sir.
Sir, fine,
Okay.
sir.
Okay. Let us now talk about fuel. And this again, similar type of things we'll see for fuel. So if I cut it here, fuel will be everywhere. Fuel is 1. Okay. And outside we have oxidizer. Okay. So we are going radially. This plot is radial plot again. So if you go radially out, up to here you will see all fuel. Up to here you will up to here you will see all fuel. Outside here all oxidizer. So they should actually draw two plots. So up to radius r, we have fuel. After radius r, we have oxidizer. Outside it is all ambient air. Okay, so let us say it is all filled with oxidizer. You understand what I am doing here?
Yes, sir.
Fine. So let us go to the next level. Let us say this cut section. Okay, the cut section. So for that, what will happen is fuel is more inside, and fuel gets consumed at the flame front. Okay, after this flame front, there will be no fuel. What you have already discussed, right? So you see, fuel is getting consumed, and here fuel is finished. That's it. Now, don't get confused. They should have actually used two different colors, but let me draw it for you. So this is for oxidizer. Okay, this is not for fuel. Fuel is this one, oxidizer is this one. Okay, so after the flame, there is no fuel. All fuel is getting burnt here. This is the flame front. And oxidizer is outside, this is diffusing in. Now we see product formation. So product will get formed at the flame front, and then it also diffuses to both the sides. Fine?
So, oxidizer should also be somewhat into right, sir? Or okay, it becomes product. I mean, here we don't have a single
Yes.
flame front, is it, sir? Is it so that we don't have a single flame front? Because we
We
are
have a
getting
single flame
products
front.
from we are getting products from r equal to 0 to r equal to the infinity, right?
Yes. So
So
product
it means that we have flame front at every r, right, sir? Otherwise,
no.
I would see that oxidizer graph as inside. I mean, at r equal to 0, also there should be some oxygen. Otherwise, if there is no reaction going on, otherwise at r equal to 0, the fuel mole fraction must be 1, not mass fraction must be 1.
Why should we have discussed about this jet, right? Jet is okay.
Product gets
Okay.
diffused inside the
Yes.
fuel, is it, sir?
Yes. So what is happening is, let me draw it. Let me okay. Let me answer one by one. Otherwise, you will get confused. You will confuse everyone. So whether we can make it bigger. Anyway, this is your frame front. Okay. This is the dotted line what we are talking about. This is flame front, right? Now inside the flame front we have fuel only. Okay, but okay. Second thing is product. Product is being formed here. There is no reaction taking place inside or outside. All the reaction is taking place in this thin region. Is this clear? Product is getting formed here, but
Yes,
it
sir.
also get diffused. There is molecular diffusion. Okay, we have a very strong production here, very strong gradient of product, so it will get diffused both the sides. Okay, it is not that product is getting formed here or formed here. Product is only getting in this very thin line, product is getting formed, and that product is going inside or outside. Now talking about fuel. So this is a gas jet. So ideally it should have YF is equal to 1, right? But fuel has, this product has also diffused inside. So that will bring it down. If we neglect this product, then it should be YF is equal to 1. Is it fine?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Okay. So now let us go to the topmost region. This. Here we are looking at the flame tip. Okay. So here what we see is the product is maximum at the center and then it goes down. Similar to what we saw for temperature. And oxidizer is minimum here. All the oxygen is burnt. So oxidizer is minimum. It will increase as we go out. Is this okay? And this is a very important
Yes, sir.
plot for diffusion flame. If you have anyone has any doubt, please ask me. I will repeat. No one has questions, so let me just. I have one or
Sir,
two slides.
sir,
Yes,
sir,
yes,
please
yes. Please.
explain this, sir, mole fraction versus R graph once more.
Okay, okay. Let me do one thing. I will delete and then I will let me delete everything. Then it will be clear to you, right? So let us talk about mole fraction. Okay. So let us say that you understood about this jet. Let me get a pen. Okay. So let us say we are injecting fuel from here, pure fuel. Mole fraction will be how much? If I take a measurement here, mole fraction will be how much for the fuel? Pure fuel.
One.
One. So this is the radial
Yes, sir.
profile. Okay. So we see that till R radius, fuel is 1. Okay. So if I
Yes,
measure
sir.
here, till here fuel is 1. Outside what happens? Oxygen
Yes,
starts
sir.
coming. So this is oxidizer, not oxygen. Okay. Oxidizer is air.
Yes, sir.
So air is 1 outside. This is at the tip of this burner here, just as the fuel comes out. Now,
Yes,
let us
sir.
go little up. Let us take a cut section at this region, and this is the flame front. Okay. So what will happen is inside. Let us take from the center line. So inside we will have fuel. Okay. That will go on
Yes, sir.
decreasing till the flame front. That is what you are seeing here. Fuel is there at the center. R is equal to 0. Fuel is maximum. Then it is decreasing till the
Yes,
center.
sir.
Okay, but what happens? Oxidizer is there, which is outside. So oxidizer is coming from outside. It is getting reduced, and here it is completely finished.
Yes, sir.
Fine. Now my flame
Yes,
front
sir.
is here. Let me get another color. So this is the flame front. Okay, flame will be sitting on this place. So I see that fuel is coming from this side and getting burnt. Oxidizer is coming from this side and that is also reacting, that is getting finished. So what is getting formed? Both fuel and oxidizer are finished. So what we get? We'll get product. So all the product
Product.
that
Yes,
you
sir.
see, all the reaction is taking place in this flame front only, on this region, very thin region. But this also gets diffused. Okay, it moves outside and inside and outside. So you see that the
Yes,
fuel
sir.
product mixture fraction, that is dropping like this, dropping inside, dropping outside. Fine.
Yes, sir.
So
Yes,
first
sir.
two plots you are clear with. Now let us talk about the third.
Yes, sir.
So third is at the tip of the flame. Okay. So here what happened was,
Yes, sir.
here we are cutting the flame. Now we are at the top of the flame. So what we see is product is maximum here on this tip. What will be the mass fraction of fuel here? You tell me.
Sir, fuel. Sir,
Yes, at
fuel is
this.
completely consumed.
Yes,
So
correct.
fuel is
Fuel is.
completely consumed, so it will be 0.
Yes, fuel is finished. Fuel is 0.
Yes, sir.
Product is getting formed here, so product is 1 here, and it readily goes down.
Yes.
And oxidizer is
Yes,
very
sir.
high outside. It comes down and it is 0 at flame front. That's all. Now you are clear?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Fine. Let us quickly finish. I have one or two slides. So fuel and oxidizer remain unmixed. Okay, up to the flame surface in case of diffusion flame. That is what we told. That they are coming together and getting mixed. Then they diffuse to the reaction zone. Fuel and oxidizer diffuse to the reaction zone due to molecular and turbulent diffusion. Okay, and mix at the flame surface. So flame surface is where they are mixing and where they are burning. Now the bonding rate is now dictated by the rate at which they come together in stoichiometric, or what is the required, or proper proportions. Okay, so that is why it is called diffusion limited. Right, for premixed flame they are already mixed. Okay, so what happens on the flame speed is the reactions, the rate of production, all everything is kinetically controlled, or chemical kinetics is playing a major or more important role. Okay, rate of reaction is the most important determining factor. Now for diffusion flame, since mixing is a major obstacle, okay, we have to first mix, then only it will burn, right? So it is diffusion limited. Once it is mixed, then we say, okay, fine, now it will burn if they reach proper proportions. That is the major difference between diffusion and premixed flames. Now again, what we have discussed, so for a diffusion flame, locus of points where equivalence ratio is 1 is the flame surface. So where they are in correct proportion, they mix, and that is called the flame surface. Okay. So strictly speaking, we cannot define equivalence ratio because that is something which is defined for premixed flames. When we have some mixture, there we don't have any mixture. The two substances are coming together and getting mixed. Okay, we don't have any mixture beforehand. So this what this book is saying is, this is from terms that they say that it is strictly speaking not correct, but it still has some meaning because that is how we relate to the flame surface. We say that they are present in proper proportion. Okay, proper proportions means we can say that phi is equal to 1. Okay, and what we have discussed in the last plot, that products formed at the flame surface diffuse readily outside and inside both, right? That's what we saw, that fuel is diffusing inside as well as outside, right? So now let us look at the flame structure, how the flame looks. So this is, you talked about some plots. Now let us look at 2D contours, how it looks like. So we discussed that at the flame surface temperature is maximum. So can you see that in this plot? We are getting around 2000 Kelvin in this region. Right? Everyone can see that?
Yes, sir.
Okay, so temperature is highest for the flame surface and then it goes down for both the sides. Inside or outside, it goes down. Similarly, OH. OH is basically a flame marker. So where is the flame surface? Where the flame is sitting. That is how it looks. So if we compare with the OH we have seen for a premixed flame, anyone remembers that? How it looks? OH for premixed flame. It was looking like a cone. Right? It was very near to this region and it burnt very fast because everything is mixed. So this is how the OH profile, you can go back to premixed flame slides and look. This is how the OH profile look for premixed flame, but for diffusion this is how it looks. Fine. Let us look at O2. So O2 is O2 is high at the ambient because it is air only. Then it starts diffusing inside and then it completely finishes at the flame front. Okay. After this, there is no OH. You see, this color corresponds to 0. Is it clear to everyone? Inside this flame surface, oxygen is not going. Oxidizer is not going inside this. Is this clear to everyone?
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
Fine. So let us look at CO2. So CO2 is getting formed in this region. In the flame surface, it is getting inside, outside, and then it is also going up. Fine. Everyone is okay with that?
Yes, sir.
Okay.
Yes, sir.
Let us now look at a different perspective. So let us say this is what we talked about. Look at the first plot. Don't look everything at once. So this is what we're talking about, right? We have a fuel region, we have oxidizer region, and this is the reaction zone where flame surface is sitting, where reaction happens. So what happens is fuel is getting inside, oxidizer is getting inside, and then they burn. Once they burn, then heat and product, they diffuse in both the sides. That's why we are seeing plots like this, right? We see peak here for products, they diffuse outside, they diffuse inside. We see a similar plot for temperature also, right? So this is how it looks. Temperature will be peak at the reaction zone, it will go down for both fuel side as well as what is this? This is oxidizer side. Again for oxygen will be high here and it will go to 0. Fuel will be higher, it will go to 0. Right? So this looks like one line, but these are different. This is for oxygen and the black line is for fuel. We have already discussed this. So this plot, what I am trying to show you is that all the reaction takes place in this thin reaction zone. Okay, so for computational codes, for diffusion flames, we also assume that the reaction takes place infinitely fast. Okay, we don't worry about the reaction rate. We say that as soon as they mix, they burn. So because of that, we'll get a very thin, infinitely thin reaction sheet. Okay, so we say that this is the flame sheet. Here, burning is happening. That is the idea. So we see basically what I'm saying is this is a little thick region. Okay, it is not like 0 thickness, but we can assume that this has 0 thickness for some simple calculation. That's all I'm saying. This is called reaction sheet assumption. Is this clear?
Yes, sir.
Fine. So these are some experimental measurements. Okay, so as you can see, temperature is getting peak at the flame front. So this is your. So this is the last plot. We'll stop after this. I just want to finish this. Now this is a little bit confusing because the fuel has this side. So let us say this is your flame. This plot is for this side. Okay, so you have fuel here, which is going down and getting finished. Your oxygen here, oxygen is coming from the outside here. Oxygen is getting diminished. Then temperature is peaking at the flame front. Product are peaking at the flame front. So same plot we have seen previously, just to show you how the experimental measurement look like. So these are experimentally measured. I think experimental or computational. So some I will just check again, but some calculations or measurement, and this is how it looks. Is it clear to everyone? This is the same plot what we have
Yes,
seen
sir.
here, right?
Yes, sir.
Stop here. We'll continue tomorrow, or okay, we'll stop here for now. We'll meet again tomorrow. Fine. One more announcement. I have some assignment. So today I will mail you all. Okay, and I will tell you how to. How do I stop recording? Okay.